You are about to release your third album, yeah?
Yeah, it'll surprise a few people, I think, and hopefully, surprise editors, fans the most, I guess, and hopefully they'll enjoy it.
We kind of just felt we almost got as far as we could take guitars in the last two records for us at this time, so we just thought, let's try and make something a bit different. So in that spirit, trying to push yourself to express yourself slightly differently to what you've done before.
You've been called one of the best-selling bands of the decade after Arctic Monkeys. What is behind this astonishing success?
What's behind your astonishing success? Bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. It's just
yeah, that's right.
It's someone's.
But it's
opinion.
flattering.
It's very nice. It's flattering that that people are still interested in our music. We've been around relatively. You said we're not really a new band anymore. Going to the third record, it's very nice and exciting that people are still excited to hear what we've got to offer and say. So that's great. No matter what level we are on the size chart. To us, like exploring things that are kind of sinister and a little bit scary, that's what we like to do. That makes sense to us. So.
Do you feel a real fulfillment thinking about the fact that you are so popular, despite the fact that you are rather poetic and reflexive and whoopee?
Yeah, I do like the idea of having something that's kind of very melodic and in one sense poppy, but also with our spin it kind of dark and sinister, and then sneaking that into people's homes without them realising how nasty it might be. That's great. I think it's cool.
It's the gothic sense of humour.
Yeah.
Goths do have a sense of humour, and they're a bit ridiculous, but and they're like really dark and morbid things, but they can find humour in that.
Looking back to the 80s and 70s, how would you describe the present music scene?
But now, you mean the 80s comparisons, or I guess it's just a bunch of bands that have referenced, artists that they like, and it's that cycle thing. Talking Heads. Everyone's always going to like Talking Heads, but it's just how popular they are perceived. I'm sure in the 90s they weren't that cool to reference because it was so close to them, and that's a thing that people can reference and go, yeah. I'm listening to Talking Heads record, check me out.
You said something about your influences, Echo and the Bunnymen and Joy Division, that you're mostly compared with.
Because there was a time when people were telling us that they influenced us. People were coming to us and telling us that these bands influenced us.
Is it bad?
No, it's not bad, but it wasn't the case. It wasn't, the reason they're so old is because the bands that made us form bands were bands that we listened to when we were teenagers. So it wasn't really them. It wasn't Joy Division that made me want to be in a band, because that was the 80s when I was a child.
I think it's more about your voice that has to do with Joy Division.
Yeah, maybe. My voice is my voice, isn't it? There's been baritones in pop music before Ian Curtis, Elvis Presley, Jim Morrison. These people have deep voices and sing in pop songs, don't they? So, but the only thing was when people
Barry White
fucking White. We're not afraid of success. We want people to hear our music.
But what do you think about the present music system and about the internet and downloading stuff? How do you feel about this?
Don't feel great about it.
If all bands thought that leaking records was good, then why don't they do it themselves?
Like 9 Inch Nails?
No, they gave their record away for free. That was a conscious decision. But everyone else that gets a leak is, And the bands that tend to do stuff like that, 9 Inch Nails or Radiohead, are pretty huge already. So, it's like, we can do that. You can't. We still need a bit of support and help from other people.